So, long time no talk. You may have noticed the lack of podcasts for good reason. I am still in university, so instead we started a Twitch channel and we've been live streaming there. So, we do a live version of the podcast on Wednesday night at 8:30. We do what we usually do. We have a little chat. We try and have a topic. Sometimes it doesn't go so well. And I will continue to upload these to our YouTube channel and Spotify and everything else. And then on Fridays we do the Bean Pub, and I will try and salvage what we can from that drunken mess of a show. It is also at 8:30. Thank you for staying with us and continuing to support our content. Slight disclaimer, all of this is recorded live through Discord call. That is why some of the audio is sounding a bit tinny. We are trying to find out ways to make this less so, but until then, you'll just have to stand it. Don't forget to subscribe to our Twitch channel so you know when we're recording it live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can watch all of the videos as they come out. And follow us on your favourite podcast streaming website. Enjoy the show.
Hello! We're here! The Bean Pod is on!
Are we live?
Yes, we're live. We're
Are
live.
we on?
Are we on? Yes.
Are we on?
Yes. Are we doing it?
Cool. Hi.
How is everyone?
Oh,
I look like I'm drinking blood. I love that.
I'm not drinking anything.
No, it's not booze. It's cranberry juice and an additive. Which sounds like
Still
booze.
not drinking it.
This is the additive.
How are we all?
How are we all? How is everyone? I've been...
Wait, oh, we're live. Sorry.
It's not vodka! It's fucking pink lemonade.
Well done.
Yes.
Well done.
So, for those who don't know, this week's episode is about Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Yes. Or, as me and my brother like to do, Dunder. Dunder. Lightning and the Dunder. Dunder?
Interesting.
D-N-D? Dunder? Dunder.
Yeah, got that.
Mm-hmm.
Still interested.
Shut up. Be nice to me. I'm tired. I've had a very stressful day. Yes. So, Dungeons and Dragons. We've done an episode like this before, for those of you that have actually watched the pre-recorded stuff that we did way back when, in Lockdown 1.
Wow.
That's gross. I don't like that. It's pink lemonade. Being bullied. It's
Wait,
not
no,
mixer
no,
and mixer, it's just drinks, Aurora!
I'm fighting people
Why are you fighting people?
if they're being mean to you.
Oh,
I don't know.
you've been
Well,
very
I
protective
had-
today.
So, we both had days. So,
Days.
my attention span isn't working. And I'm willing to fight people. Even
Which I
though I'm
love.
a pacifist, and Rachel isn't working.
Just in general, I'm just not working.
Uh,
I'm just not working.
as a being.
Yeah, so D&D, the reason we're talking about D&D is because this evening, after this stream, I'm starting a D&D campaign, DMing a D&D campaign for the lovely people of Dinosaur's Discord. If you don't know who Dinosaur is, we had him on the pod last week. We had him in the Bean Pub, so go watch that if you haven't already seen it. Please and thank you. No, it's fine. I love it. Yeah. Hello, you
Hey,
cool cats and
Lewis.
Oh, good
Hi,
lord,
Lewis.
Lewis. Yeah, so we're playing D&D. I would like to just, before we start telling D&D stories, which is what we want to do, I would just like to say the story of how I found out I was DMing this group. I went off the Discord for 3 days. 3 days that I didn't go on the Discord. And in that time, these wonderful people had managed to not only get into their heads the idea that they wanted to play D&D, which is fine, lovely, love that. They'd also managed to make characters And certain individuals were put up for being the DM. And by certain individuals, I mean me. I was elected without me being there as the DM.
Well, originally they sort of insinuated that I'd do it. And I would have tried if I didn't have university work. So I sort of went, I mean, yeah, I've DM'd before, but Rachel does it for us. So, I mean, she might do it for you guys.
And then people
And
just
they were
rolled with
like,
it.
get Rachel here. And I was like, I can't do that. I don't know how to magically summon her. Hi, Bobs.
Hello!
Hi, Laura.
It's
Hi,
okay.
Laura.
It's
Hi,
okay. It's fine. The plan went according to plan. Oh, God. But yeah, so I went back on the Discord, and people were like, yeah, D&D, and I was like, okay, D&D. Woo. Oh, bless you, Box. Hope you feel better soon, hon. Oh! Fuck, I'm upset that I left my keys downstairs. Box and her daughter Rini surprised me with a wonderful gift in the post, and I cried, and it was adorable. Rini and Box made me a keyring, and it says Love Rini, and then on the other side it says Big Love Toilet, and I cried and I loved it. And it's on my keys now. My very important
It was really
mayor's
cute.
keys.
She showed me earlier.
Yes, it's
I was
adorable.
like, whoa.
You sound so enthused.
I told you I'm not working.
I
My
know,
brain doesn't
I know,
work.
but it's just funny. But yeah, so I very much appreciate that gift. Thank you very much, Box. But yeah, basically, I got told I was doing D&D, and I was like, that's fine, I can do D&D. So I set up a D&D Beyond thing, I set up a Roll20, that's fine. And then all of a sudden there's 10 people on this D&D Beyond, and I'm like, well, fuck! So, little brain was like, fuck, okay, this is fine, I can do this. We're gonna split into 2 groups, because otherwise my brain will explode. It might still. But I have this snazzy notepad with a mustache on it.
Because I'm, very 2000s.
I bought this probably in 2012. So, that's probably why. That's not supposed to be there.
Everyone go retweet the tweet. Do the thing.
Do the thing, please and thank you. Extended
With
Discord.
what class you may, I guess. Do the thing.
Yeah, tell people what you created. But basically, we have 2 parties. This you can't see shit. There's party 1, there's party 2. I'm very organized this time around. Hopefully. Hopefully that will keep me from losing my mind like I did last time. But yeah, we have party 1 starting this evening. So, for those of you that didn't know, and by that I mean those of you that didn't look at the party list, party 1 is Erin, Asta, Caradog Glindower, and Dreig. Which...
Why does Wally have an NPC character? That's not fair.
No, that's not for this campaign,
Party
you dum
one is
dum.
the worst.
That's... no.
Party 1 is going to be shit. Because I'm not there.
I was about
and
to say.
Reese isn't there.
Yeah, so party 2 is made up
And
of...
neither is Laura, so fuck you.
True. Party 2 is made up of Boonan? I still haven't asked Siobhan how to say that. Boonan. I haven't asked Laura how to say her name either. Fuck. Please, I want to be... You won't be able to do anything anyway. Your internet connection is not going to be able to sustain this. Yes, but consider this. Party 2 is superior because it has Grouchy.
Yes,
I
we
honestly...
have a dragon already.
The reasons that I'm so excited for the 2 different parties is because I've inadvertently managed to create 2 very distinct forms of chaos just by who I've put in the party. Very,
Yeah.
very different.
I mean,
Like,
think about it this way. I'm
Colodina.
playing a bard and Grouchy's second name is Dragon.
Yeah, but not in game. She doesn't have a last name in
Let me
game.
have my moment.
Okay. So just me. Yeah, basically, party 1 is going to be chaotic because it has Lewis, Dean, and Panda in the same group. Which was a choice that I've made. And then...
Millie, Laura's put the
Yes, Kalodina.
name.
Kalodina.
Christy.
I'm just
hello,
gonna call you Dina. Yeah, I'm gonna call you Dina. Until I learn how to say it properly. Because I will try. Ooh, cleric, now I won't die. Exactly! Well done. I put the one that was most likely to fuck himself up in the party with the cleric. Yes, but I'm very excited. D&D is gonna be fun. So that's starting this evening after the stream directly.
You didn't say what my character's name was.
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me to expose your characters. That's fine. I can expose you. It's fine. I do it a lot. Yours is called Jim Bosun. Yeah.
I find myself very funny.
Jim Bosun.
Asking.
And he is a Genasi bard. So we're all fucked. And then Reese's fabulous character is called Illyri Borelwind, who is a half-elf druid, and she seems like she's gonna be a bunch of fun.
I've looked at her stats and like my character cannot survive without her.
No,
like,
no,
my
not at
character's
all.
gonna die.
Yeah. True.
He's
I am
just
so
walking
excited.
towards
I just read what Millie wrote in the chat. I am so fucking excited for the fact that Laura like is a minute taker in work. So her notes are going to be phenomenal, and I'm not going to have to remember anything. It's going to be brilliant for my tiny mind. This is going to be fabulous.
Laura, I'm a fire genasi.
Yes, fire genasi.
And I think wasn't Siobhan a fire?
I think she's a water genasi. Yes. Which, if I remember correctly, I should probably check the D&D Beyond, but I'm not going to do that because it'll make my internet crash. Fun stories from D&D.
So how many people have actually seen our other podcast of D&D?
True. How many of you have actually watched the pre-recorded stuffs? Scared. The answer's going to be like one.
Two.
It's going to
Two
be...
people are like,
Hello.
it's just Laura.
Oh my god. My NPC character is so fun though. Your NPC character is a lot. Just a lot, really.
Don't let him have anything. He chose to go to the army, he should deal with it. This is your fault, you deal with it. Hi, Dean!
That was very... I'm checking. What was I checking? I was checking something. What was I checking? What was I checking? I can't
No
fucking...
one's saying, hey, has everyone watched the last one, or can I reuse stories?
Can I reuse stories? I mean, probably. Laura obviously has, because it's Laura and we love her. You get to write my eulogy, let me have this. Oh, good god. Dean, you had your spotlight episode last week. Don't be a little hoarder, bitch. I wanted to tell a story about Reese. Specifically, the story of Reese finding out that thaumaturgy meant that he could shout really, really loudly.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay. Okay. Yes, has anybody... Basically,
Fine,
we were playing a campaign that I made. That was the other campaign that they were playing. That is on hiatus currently. It's not gone. We're still going to go back to it. It's just on hiatus. And basically, Reese heard me say, you're going to this place to get a box. And people will find you to give you the box. I specifically said, people will find you to give you the box. He did not take any heed to that. Walks into the city, almost gets himself thrown out before he's even there because of how rude he is to the guards. But with that, I digress. It's fine. Then finds out thaumaturgy means you can shout really fucking loudly. So he goes into the middle of the fucking city square and just starts using thaumaturgy and shouting, "Has anybody got a box?" Just all over the city. All over the city. Just shouting and screaming, "Does anybody got a box?" So that was English. Wow. I said that sentence wrong. How did
I literally had to use like my god tier charisma to get us even inside the walls. entrance, and I was like, we should probably be sneaky, and everyone else in the party, because none of them had actually played D&D before, sort of listened to me, because I had played D&D before, but not Reese. Reese was like, no, the most easy way to do this is you walk into center, and then you shout.
Yeah, and then you fuckers managed to end up with like 4 different boxes, because fucking our friend Tom's character didn't listen to a word I said either, went into an antique shop and bought 2 boxes, like, one of which ended up being pretty, like, weird, but, like, that was not, anyway, and then you ended up buying a coffin, because you had...
Cultural story. You're telling this wrong.
That wasn't a different story. That was the same story. You went and charmed a man into...
It was for our cover-up story.
Yeah.
So the way that I had got into the city walls is we came up to the gates and Reese's character said, "Hey, we're going inside because I need to get a box." And the guards were like, "What box?" being all suspicious. And because, you know, this is probably some kind of relic that everybody wants to have, I was like, we can't tell them what we're looking for this specific box, or otherwise they're not letting us in, they're arresting us. So I was like, yeah, box, he means coffin, because that's all I could think of.
Just randomly, like, we're getting a coffin. We travelled to this specific city for a coffin.
I was like, we're all part of the same family. None of us are the same race. We're all part of the same family. And we are looking for a box to bury our friend in. It's tradition in our family to do this.
Yeah.
And they, like, believed us because my charisma is always high quality.
Always. Because it exudes off of you.
And when we went inside, I was like, right, I'm gonna have to find a coffin now. And everyone was like, what? And I was like, I can't just lie. Like, we're gonna have, if we go out the same way, which was the only way out.
Yeah. Because it was a fucking, it was a port city. There was only one way out. Yeah.
They were gonna see that we didn't have a coffin. And I said we were only getting the coffin, not that we were getting the body. So I was like, it's also a very good way to hide the box.
Mm-hmm.
The real box once we get it.
See? This is a very good tip for new players. Think about what you're doing, and don't just do it for the sake of fucking doing it. Just saying.
To be fair, at the time, everyone just thought I was being really weird and being like, why would you look for a fucking coffin? That's so stupid. Yeah. And then on the way out, I was like, hidey thing. We hide the hidey thing. We use the hidey thing. And it's like, that kind of, you know, thinking ahead is something you do need to think of in D&D, if your character is that kind of person. If your character isn't that kind of person, do what you want, like, fair.
I just sneezed like a minute. I think I can see a different dimension. Oh, I'm fine. Sneezing. The joys of. Yeah. The other story, yes, like we both, yes. Thank you, Laura. The other story that I wanted to say was, don't be dumb with money. If you're playing a character that wants to, like, throw his money around, maybe get good at getting money. Just saying. Get good at getting money. The way that I'm saying this is because...
Directed at.
Pardon? What was that?
Who was that directed at?
Who was that directed at? The one that had to turn into a burlesque dancer who auctioned himself off in order to fucking make money. Because he'd lost... I was very good at getting money. After you went down the route... Oh, why did Rachel bring up Dean's hometown? It's an inside joke. For every time somebody sneezes, it sounds supposedly like Dean's hometown. Dean is from Shineshi. Just to give Grouchy a heart attack. Pardon? What did you say? I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
It's you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
See, everyone's saying bless you. It's what we do in his lives as well, but he just ignores us.
Fair. But yeah, so basically, Wally was like, okay, I need money, like, badly. How can we do this? And I was like, what are you willing to do to get money? And he was like, I will sell my body if necessary. And the second he said that, I was like, okay, maybe we'll not just blatantly hook on the street. Just cause this is a D&D game, so, you know. And I was like, okay, well, this particular bartender is like, come back at this time and we'll figure something out for you. So he goes back at that time and everybody's in the bar drinking and having a whale of a time because they've just finished the box mission, all that good stuff. And basically, I'm like, pick a song. And I can't remember which song you picked, but I'm pretty sure you picked something from the movie Burlesque.
Okay.
Huh?
No. I thought he picked Toxic.
He did too. He did Toxic by Britney Spears, and then he did a different one.
Because I wanted Toxic.
True. You did Toxic. And then... I can't remember what the other one was.
Chose Toxic.
Rachel ignores chat. It's fine.
wasn't
I don't ignore chat!
Toxic.
I'm just trying to tell a fucking story, and I am very bad at keeping track of my thoughts.
That's why there's two people here. So I can look at chat and she can talk.
Brain, it has to stick on one thing, otherwise I end up... I mean, everybody saw the Snapchats that I sent the group chat earlier. I sent like 1 million Snapchats trying to tell a 2-minute story. I'm very bad at this. But yeah, so he
I
stripped.
think Dean's gonna try and add himself to the call. No idea.
I'm
what
sexy and I know it. Was it I sexy and I know it? Anyway, it's D&D. In D&D. Okay, thank
I
you.
don't know.
Anyway, he stripped and he made a lot of money. And then he was auctioned off to the highest bidder, who happened to be a lovely lady called Susabelle, who owns the Bam Shack. And for those that don't know what the Bam Shack is, Reese absolutely hates the Bam Shack because I basically created the D&D equivalent of Tesco's. It's a chain store that pops up in a lot of the major towns and cities, and you can buy pretty much everything. You can't buy like uncommon things, but you can buy pretty much everything. And complete rope bunny freak of a character. Oh god. I'll fucking okay, somebody's very anti Bam Shack. But yeah, the Bam Shack's great, and you have a membership card. You still have a membership card, by the way.
I have a membership card.
That does not roll over to this character. You will need to get a new membership card.
Wait.
Yeah, sorry.
Wait, there's the Bam Shack in this one too?
Yes, there is the Bam Shack in this one too.
Jesus.
But I worked it out better this time because I have a full stock list for the Bam Shack now.
Dude, that's a lot.
Yeah. It's fine though because I found a fantasy shop generator that gives me all the prices and stuff, and I can do discounts depending on if you have membership or not, because you get 15% discount.
Oh, Aurora.
No. No, Aurora. Aurora
Not
down.
a moment, ask me later.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I wait for in-game. I have the ability to put it down this time, I'll fucking do it.
It is a bit like that.
I don't know what
It's a
JoJo
bit
Matt
like
is.
Jojo Matt.
Okay. I ran out of money at work.
Like Timmy and Tommy's shop in Animal Crossing.
Panda Co is going to be involved. Panda Co sells a healthy alternative to food called Panda Bites.
Genuinely, the Bam Shack helped us so much.
You'd have been
And,
fucked
like,
without it. You'd have been fucked without it.
My character slept with one of the Susabelles, and I can't remember.
He was that was an innkeeper's daughter. That was a different thing.
Yeah.
They just have the same accent because I'm original. Hey, hello, Hazelnutty. Sorry, had to leave briefly. I'm back now. Oh god, Lewis is back. It's fine. No, it didn't. What? Do you mean? Yeah, it did help you. Fuck off. Oh yeah. So the Bam Shack.
It
That's
did
fun.
help us.
Just because you tried to steal from it the second you got in there and you failed miserably is not my fault. All I'm saying. Sorry.
It was a good time. Good time watching Wally stripped.
Yeah.
I loved that.
We didn't actually watch him
loved
strip.
that.
I just wanted him to describe what he was doing, and he ended in a death drop on the bar, so that was fun.
Yeah, we played the song. He had to describe exactly what his character was doing. My character was front row,
throwing coins at him. And I was like, how are we gonna do this? Because they don't have dollar bills in D&D. Okay, you guys throw coins, but there's a barrier that swaps them into a bucket so that he doesn't get berated with metal pieces.
I just wanted to pelt him with coins.
Fun times, fun times. I think my favorite character I've ever played was probably my first ever character, which was Zoraida. Do you remember Zoraida?
Zoraida, yeah.
My favorite,
I was DM for that.
Yeah, I know, but that doesn't mean you remembered it. Doesn't mean that you remembered it. My favorite thing that she ever did was, we needed a place to stay in this town that we were visiting. And at the time, Zoraida's whole thing was I wanted her to be as charismatic as possible. Like, she flirted with anything and everything under the sun successfully. And so I walked up to this random bloke who looked like he had a big house. No, not the eco-terrorist. She's my second favorite. I haven't played her enough to get into my actual eco-terrorism side. I will be telling the story of the eco-terrorist in a second, don't worry. But Zoraida was so charismatic. She walked up to this random man who she saw had a big house and was like, I want my friends to stay with you. Can you let my friends stay with you? And apparently he was so taken with her that he ejaculated there and then. And I was apparently so convincing that his wife also was hot under the collar for me, and was like, of course, your friends can stay, we'll make them dinner, all of this, that, and the other. So much so that Zoraida didn't even actually stay at the house. She ended up having a threesome with the bartender down the road. Completely different situation. But, yeah, I was just very, charismatic, and it was a time.
This can only be explained by one of my favourite mechanics in D&D is, like, relationship mechanics.
Yeah.
I love it, where it's just like, no, you can basically convince anyone to sleep with you if you play your cards right.
Yes.
Especially because I was the DM, and you were like, I wanted to talk to somebody, and I immediately knew what you were doing. And I was like, I'm giving a wife, I'm giving kids, but they're gonna, not the kids, but they're gonna join in. I was like, and so I was DM for this one, and Wally, who is in chat and is part of the Bean Cam, he made basically my worst nightmare of a character.
Yes. Oh my god.
He made them small, and he made them annoying, and he made them so they stole everything.
Just tabaxi, really.
I didn't mind tabaxi.
I have an issue with tabaxis because they're so annoying.
I don't have anything against any race, but
tabaxis are pretty shit. Tabaxis are pretty fucking shit.
Great. I tried to convince him to be a Kenku, because a Kenku doesn't talk. So I thought it would be really interesting to see Wally's play.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. But because I hated his character so much, I made it a semi-mission that everything he did had like a disadvantage to it. So like he'd be like, oh, I get across this like gap with my agility, and if he rolled well enough, I'd still give him like a consequence.
Yeah.
It was like, you did very well, you lost a key. Like,
crazy human.
I didn't want to give him anything.
Just saying, Lewis, you chose to be a fucking human fighter, which is the basic of basic, okay? You don't get to cry in nothing.
I mean, human isn't bad. Human is just default. Why would you do default?
You are human. Why would you want to be what you already are?
Stay silent in played human last game.
You didn't play human.
No, I made one though. We were gonna play something and I made a human.
Oh, okay.
I made a human fighter. I made it like default as hell.
Whoa, wait, was that for Reese's thing? Because I can't remember what you played for Reese's.
I can't remember what I played for Reese's thing.
That was when I
think
played
so.
my,
I went through a stage of, like, wanting to play the, like, straight man in
Oh,
the
yeah.
thing.
That was funny. That was fun. That was when I played my Eco-Terrorist, was Reese's game. No, that's not how you were knocked out for 3 games. She played a bird
That is not how
thing.
you got knocked out for 3 games.
That's not how it was. That was not.
Wally's character. She played a bird thing. Oh yeah, I played a hawk.
Oh yeah.
Hawks. I played as hawks.
Well, I've said not being able to remember
Wally's
your
character
Yours is a half orc, darling. It's a half orc.
decided that he wanted to sleep on the top of the inn, because then he wouldn't have to pay to sleep inside. And I already said that that Rachel's character Zoraida only got a space to fill for 3 characters.
Yeah.
And that was the other 3 characters, not his character. So I thought, he'd sleep on top of the house or something. He was like, no, I'll go back to the inn and I'm going to sleep on top of the inn. And I was like, you can't do this. I refuse to let you do this. So I let him sleep on it, and then he fell off, so he took damage. Because if you fall, you take damage.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Usually. Because he rolled very badly for the damage thing. And then...
No problem, go.
And then he decided, because his character was a criminal...
I'm eating Nutella, just to say.
Okay.
Continue. I haven't...
He decided that his character, because he was a criminal, was going to go to a bar and steal stuff from people because his character wanted money. Now, that's the one thing I will warn everyone off of, even if they're playing a criminal. Do not just steal things off of random people.
No. It
doesn't go as well as you think it does. Be smart about it. Act as if you were actually a criminal. So you wouldn't just go up to a random person in a bar and steal from them. You would look around a crowd for a while, you try and suss out who's got like the loosest bag, the loosest whatever, and steal that. You have to keep on making perception checks.
Use your brain. Just saying.
Choose who to steal from. So what he did, he went into this bar, and it was full of tieflings. And I don't read law, but in my mind, I made it so tieflings were slightly racist against everyone else, or at least thought they were superior.
Yeah.
So he went into this bar full of tieflings, and it was designed so Rachel could get information, not so...
I remember that, because I was a tiefling. I just remembered I was a tiefling.
Not so that Wally could steal from them. So what happened is he went in and was already being stared at by everyone, and then tried to steal from somebody. So I was like, you can't do that. And he was like, yes, I can. And I was like, no, it will go badly. He went, oh, I'll do it anyway. I'm going to roll really well. So I upped the difficulty of the roll. He rolls. He gets a 10.
I don't even think it was a 10.
In my head...
It was worse than that.
I don't think it was even a 10. I think it was worse than that.
Yeah.
But in my head, if 10 was middle, just doing it, I had already upped it to a 14 to successfully do it.
Yeah.
Because people were looking at him, and it doesn't work like that.
No,
it's not
you
spicy.
You can't
It's
use
not...
fucking what's it called? Sleight of hand if somebody's looking at you doing it. It's not sleight if somebody's looking at you.
It's not spicy. It's just not how mechanics work. It's just not how people work. Unless you have
a feat.
5+ on sleight of hand, you will not be able to do it.
He did not.
Just stupid.
He did not.
Don't do it. You'll get arrested. I had already decided that my universe didn't have money or police. So I instead decided to punish him physically.
Plus, just a clarify, he wasn't going to be there for the next session, and we did not think it was going to last 3 weeks when we did this. We thought it would be 1 week, and then he'd be back, and it'd be fine. Yeah. But there we are.
So he left. He went into the bar, he tried to take the thing, and the tiefling turns around and grabbed him and said, "What are you trying to do?" And he's a little tabaxi, so he tries to speak, but everyone else in the bar speaks over him because they're all slightly racist.
Mm-hmm.
And they pick him up and say, "You're not going to steal from me. How dare you?"
Yep.
So he picked him up and threw him out of the open door into the door across the street. The door across the street, I had decided, also had a tiefling inside, but it was a home. So
no, it wasn't. It was a shop. It was a shop.
It was a shop?
Yeah, because Mike was getting his butter knife.
Tried to steal from.
He was getting his butter knife, yeah.
And there was the giant guy. And the giant guy said, "I thought I banned you from this shop." Picked him up, threw him across the road again. The tiefling got hit on the back of the legs and was like, "You again." Threw him across the road. This happened about 7 times.
Yeah, back and forth.
Describing.
It was very funny.
Until he had taken all of his damage.
Yes.
And I said, "Your character is now passed out." And he was like, "What? You can't do that?" And I was like, "I can."
He had 1 hit point.
Because I am the DM. If you don't listen to me, you probably die or take some kind of punishment.
Yeah, we stabilized him and he had 1 hit point, but we weren't willing to wake him up.
Yeah, he had like 3 hit points left anyway, so he was basically dead. But I'll never kill you, but I may make you unconscious for a while. So I then said to the rest of the party, he's like unconscious on the side of the road, and they all sort of looked at each other and were like, "Do we bring him?"
Yeah, we were like, are we going to? Oh, I will never forget Catherine being like, "Can I, like, pretend to trip and accidentally knock him with my boot or something? And, like, knock his last hit point off? Can I do 1 hit point's worth of damage accidentally?"
No, you can die.
No, this is, I don't DM the same way she does. If you do something stupid, you're dying. But it is, you are starting at level 1, so I am going to start you on level 1 stuff and wake up.
I'm very noob friendly in the sense of I would never kill a character, but if you do something that I think is stupid or would get you killed, you are getting some kind of consequence from it, whether it's being poisoned for the rest of the like session, or being poisoned until you go to sleep or whatever.
I think my favorite one is I played in a different campaign and somebody was being a right douche. And they were like, "You're level 4, you literally can't do that." And he was like, "I'm doing it anyway, I don't care." And he critically failed, like, should be dead. And instead of making him dead, he was like, "Right, you're in suspended animation." And he was like, "What?" He's like, "You're in suspended animation. You're not dead, but until they can find a way to get you back, you just follow like a ghost. You can't take part in anything, you can just be there. You can talk, but they don't have to listen to you."
Yeah.
They were like...
I like that.
Yeah. I think it took us like 3 sessions, because they were still being like a bitch behind the game, like out of game. So he was like, "You will be in suspended animation until you either like get your shit together or they find you the thing." And we were looking for the thing, but it was one of those things where it was like, right now it doesn't make sense to go looking for that while we're in the middle of something. Yeah, and then, like, he was being a douche, so we were like, we're just gonna put it off 1 more session. Just 1, it's fine. Because I'm a bit of an arsehole, if you didn't know. If you weren't aware. But yeah, so then when we did get him out of suspended animation, he was like, "Yeah, you also have 3 points of exhaustion that you have to work off." For being a douche.
You know, you say that's being a bit of an arsehole, but I completely disagree. I think people, you know, like, as much as D&D is an escape and you're able to do whatever you want, doing certain things will ruin it for other people. And you have to be respectful of that. You're not just playing as you. If it was a one-on-one D&D, you know, adventure, fair enough, it's only you can do what you want, and it's essentially your story, but you have to remember you're in the story of other people, up to 5-6 people who are around you. It's always going to be a case of turning around to the group and being like, hey, my character is going to do this, and then discussing whether that would be a good idea or not. And if the DM says to you that would be a bad idea, or
fucking listen to the DM if they say, do you want to do that? Are you sure? Like,
there is no obligation as a DM for them to say, this is going to harm your character. So when they do, you have to listen.
Yeah.
And if you are talking over the DM, I will slap you.
This is the one thing that I like about playing online.
I will slap
This
you.
is the one thing I like about playing online. I would prefer to be in person, but playing online, I can mute people. I have the power to mute people. Yeah, we were playing online and people were just accidentally talking over each other, and I was like, mute, mute, mute. Okay, I'm not unmuting you until this person has gotten their fucking monologue out of the way, okay? Because I was introducing a new character and they had to give me information, and it was very annoying. The other thing is, you have to remember that your backstory is not the only backstory that matters, is another one. Because I've had people that just exposition, everything is, oh, but my backstory. And I'm like, yeah, but this isn't about you. This is for this guy's backstory. Because there's 4 other people playing, you know?
Yeah, you have to be sort of considerate. Think of it as if, I mean, some of you are actors, you'll understand. Think of it as an improv. It's just one long improv.
Entirely.
You have this is essentially what it is. You have a character, you have a backstory thought of, and you have the way your character would react. And never don't do that just because, you know, like Reese's character in the last game didn't want to be part of the party. So I upped my character's ability, my character's need to have everyone be their friend.
Yes, that was so fun.
That was a written-in flaw for my character. So our characters really suited each other because Reese's character always wanted to go off and do his own thing and get his own story done. But my character would always be like, no, we're coming with. And
yeah, we're going with you.
Having his story going on forward and doing whatever, because Rachel knew, and Rachel wants, you know, the DM wants your story to be told as well.
Yeah. Because a lot of people, I love reading people's backstories and talking to people about their backstories, because I'm like, it's so fun to see that, like, people care enough about the world to think about these things, because then it's not just me being like, this is a world I made, please be nice. You know?
And don't think of it as, like, it's the other thing of, don't think of it as you're not allowed to be, like, rude to other, like, your character isn't allowed to bully other characters, or your character has to get on with everyone. It's more, don't always get in fights with other player characters. Don't always, like the not stealing thing. That could have affected the whole party. If they got arrested, the party would have been derailed.
Yeah.
For a while, trying to get this character out of jail.
Thank you, Ollie. My maps take me a lot of time and I'm very proud of them. Rachel, I got myself the Player's Handbook by Prime today so I can have a bit more... Oh! You adorable child! Thank you. Laura, you are my favourite kind of player. Oh, thank you!
Good.
Thank you.
That should be good.
That makes me happy. Yes, I appreciate you all. My maps, I go above and beyond with maps just because I'm just a fucking nerd and I really like maps. And I also, I paid for this program. Like,
I really enjoy your maps. I mean, my maps were so much better.
No, I won't lie though. Yours were a completely different vibe for the D&D. No, I think I said this to my brother because, we were talking about how I've played with your brother. I played D&D with your brother, and your brother does, like, grid maps. Yeah. He does, like, proper grid maps. And I don't like grid maps because they bug the shit out of me. I won't lie. They just bug me. But
My brother is big nerd. So.
yes. But like, but then I've also played with people whose maps were like blocks. You know? Just blocks to be like, this is a building. This is labeled a wagon, so this is a wagon now. This is a monster. And like, I think it fits the play style of the DM. So I have really autistic and like extra maps because I'm really extra.
Yeah.
You know, and I like having. Whereas the wiki, don't fucking tempt me, Aurora. I will write a whole ass wiki. I did last time.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
I'm just saying. This is
She
the
did it
thing.
before.
I have with it. Where's my fucking 2 seconds? I'm gonna get my grimoire. I'm gonna turn off my camera so you can't see me. It's still here. I'm just getting my grimoire.
Oh, okay. I'm in charge. Hi, guys. Yeah, so, you know, that's the whole thing. You have to be... I think it's always helpful when people have played games before, like this, or are actors, because people understand then the kind of mechanic behind it. It's the yes and. If a DM or another character is saying, we do this, and it doesn't seem like it's an apocalyptic idea, maybe say, yes, okay. So, I don't know if any of you have watched the last D&D episode of the pod, but one of my favourite stories from one of my first games was my little bard character, one Venmo show, hi. One of my favourite stories I've ever had happen is I used to like draw and make sarcastic comments throughout of my playthrough because my character was a bard. My character was sort of sarky anyway, so it just suited her anyway, and it distracted me. And they couldn't tell whether I was in or out of character because my voice was the same as my character's.
I'm back. You can continue. I'm listening.
Drawing, we were inside what we later found out was the bowel of a dead dragon, which was also the toilet for the people who lived there. The kobolds who lived there, which are tiny, tiny dragons.
Yes.
Bye, Wally. See you
Bye.
next week, or whenever you call us. Bye.
See you most likely like on Friday when you call me on your way back.
Yeah. And so there's these little kobolds that lived in this place, and they used this place as a toilet. We found out that by one of the other characters picking up some goo from the floor, sniffing it, and then putting it in her mouth. Brilliant story telling on Livy's part, honestly. They are, like, excellent as a DM.
Yeah, my brother's had them as well.
If you know Livy, just play D&D with them.
He can't, he's doing army stuff, Grouchy. He has to, like, go. Reese, you did do okay. It's okay. I'm trying to read, brain.
Oh, you got the picture quite quickly that my character wasn't going to leave you alone.
It was fun.
Like,
so
then you were like, okay, I guess this is happening.
This is my
You played
grimoire.
along very well.
This is my grimoire.
I can't see it.
I'm waiting. I'm holding it up so you can see it.
My stream is iffy. I don't know if it'll load. What is it?
This is
Oh,
my
it's a
grimoire.
book.
This is my D&D grimoire. So this is actual leather because fucking garb in it. And this it's split into 3 books. I'm gonna try and show you without giving away information. The first book.
Yeah, my character is still on his shoulder.
Yeah, so this book is the first campaign that I did with these guys. This book, I haven't labeled them yet, but this book is going to be full of Dayard lore. Dayard.
Right.
So, basically, it's going to be book for Arndal. I nearly gave away stuff. Book for Dayard. It's like, that's going to be full of lore. for Dad. And then book for whatever the fuck comes next. And this is the fabulous thing about this is I can add more things. I can add more.
That's really cool. I like that.
Yes. And
That's really cool.
the reason that it's currently in the mustache book from 2012 is because I didn't want to fuck up this fancy paper. But
Understood.
Yes.
Completely understood.
Yeah. But if you go into here, this is my first page of notes. It's got a key for magic user and non-magic user, party 1, party 2, names of players, names of characters, race, and class. We're going full nerd now. I'm going to show you all of my notes. Where did I get that grimoire? I will send you a link later, Aurora. Remind me. Full nerd. It was an obscenely expensive book, but it's one of those things that will last me for the rest of my life. And I couldn't stop myself. So this page is passive, so passive perception, investigation, and insight. Plus there's a little red dot if you have dark vision. Party 1, party 2 with all of your perceptive scores. Enter your names, all of that good stuff. Then down here we have armor class of everybody, plus resistances.
Ooh.
Yes, because some people have resistances. Then we have my NPC generator.
Oh god.
Which is my new favourite thing. So I have male presenting and female presenting names for random NPCs. This is just a small list. I have a generator online if I need one. Then I have a roll table for a D100 for race. And then I have to be careful not to show you this page because it's got spoilers. And then I have the same table for class, for random NPC encounters. And then again, I can't show you the rest because it's spoilers, but it's random encounters as well as relevant NPCs, NPC backstories, levels, and homebrew, because I have a very interesting homebrew component that I'm really excited for you guys to find out about.
Yeah.
It's got your brother's seal of approval. It's got your brother's seal of approval.
Didn't you have that in last game, but you didn't call it anything? You were just like, your brother, my brother really likes that.
I wrote homebrew, like a specific homebrew condition, and I double checked with the group chat that Harry's in, and Harry was like, that's it. Like, good luck. And I was like, oh my god, Harry approves. I don't know if he actually read it, but Harry approved in my mind.
He read it. My brother is possibly the sweetest man alive.
He truly
He
is.
definitely read it.
He is very much a very sweet bean. We should have Harry on.
Planning.
We should have Harry on.
We shouldn't have my brother on.
Yes, we should. Episode 3 D&D with
I love
Harry.
him a lot. No.
Yes.
He'd
Or on
love
the...
to do D&D. Like, I think if he didn't DM for like loads of other campaigns at the time that we started playing, he would have DM'd for us.
Oh, what a
As in us, the Bean can. He probably would do it online as well. I mean, he does.
Mm.
Yeah.
Has insider knowledge,
He DM'd
kind
for
of.
like 3.
Yeah, he's very
I
busy. He's very busy.
I think the reason my brother is a great DM in the way that he DMs is because he is like a teacher. Like,
Yes.
I don't know if you've ever played with my brother.
I haven't, but I've been at the table when he's been DMing.
It's really lovely to watch because he'll let people like go off the rails a bit, but he'll be like, I'm not sure that that'll work for your character. It's very funny though, like it'll be a very funny encounter, but if you do it this way, your character won't die. And then slowly they start doing that themselves. They start going like, oh, this would be a really funny situation, but I won't do it like that because, you know. And they start learning in that way, and I think that's really like cool to watch. Like I used to watch his games all the time.
I'm just saying, I love that when you start talking as if you're Harry, you actually take on a very Harry-like, you know.
I was an actor for a few years.
But like, if you guys ever have the pleasure of meeting Harry Bevan, he's top-notch human. He's very nice.
We love my brother.
We stand
He's
Harry.
currently shouting in the other room playing Clone Wars or something.
I thought it was a TV
He
show.
runs a clone battalion.
How long is first session gonna be? However long it is, I don't know.
Slight tangent. My brother runs a clone battalion online. They play, I don't know what it is, it's a Star Wars game. And the amount of times I've walked into his room to be like, here is ice cream I made you, or like, here is sweets, or mum wants to talk to you, or something, and on this, he is talking like he's in the actual army. Like, he uses the same language you and Wally do that I don't understand.
The in-depth language of being a squatty.
I don't know what it is, Aurora. I'd love to tell you.
But yeah, if we knew, we wouldn't be as confused as we always are. I think the best one was you left me to like go to the loo or something, and you accidentally left your door open while I was on call. So I was like singing and dancing to myself, and then all of a sudden I heard Harry like yelling, and I was like, "What is happening?"
It usually happens when they win.
It was like, oh my god.
My computer's turned off, so I can't see chat anymore. This is scary.
Chat hasn't said.
Oh, shite.
What did you do?
Sorry, I went off the call. Sorry.
You were functional. This is fine. We're
I was
functional.
trying to check that my phone wasn't going out of battery as well. It's not. I changed it full percent before we came here.
Before we came here.
The amount of times I've walked in and he's been like 1 second squad and like flicks his little mic down and he's like, what do you need? Like, alright, nerd. Mum needs you. Or like, I'm just giving you ice cream, leader.
I think my favorite one is so occasionally, when my brother's desk is right next to his door, which is the opposite of me, who has it as far away as possible, as you can see. Yes, that's the Hoover, don't mind that. But his desk is right next to his door, so I was like popping my head round to like, I can't remember what I was doing, I think I was giving him Skittles or something, that I'd like bought him from the shop. Well, it was probably rich tea. It's usually rich tea. He likes rich tea biscuits. But I went to pop my head in, and all of a sudden I just hear, "You just punched the Pope!" And I was like, what? So I opened the door and he's like, she punched the Pope. And I was like, who punched what? Who's it or what's it now? She was like, she punched the Pope, there's gonna be an exorcism. And I was like, what? Like, what is happening? Just very confused. Yeah, so apparently what happened was there's a female pope in his D&D game. And one of his characters had a bit of an emotional response to something the pope said. And instead of dealing with it like a rational human, or rational humanoid, decided to go up and full on punch the pope in the face, knocking the pope unconscious. Little did we know that she was actually being possessed at the time. So then, you know, they had to have an exorcism, and the Pope was there, and it was a whole thing. And then I came back a couple of hours later to, like, check on him. And I asked him, how's the Pope? And he was like, oh, the Pope was fine with it. She was real chill. And I was like, never again will those words ever be spoken. The Pope was not only a woman, but chill and cool with being punched in the face.
I love the things that come out of, like, people playing D&D. Like, my brother... This is going to feature our brothers quite a lot, because both of our brothers are the reason we like D&D.
They're massive nerds. I love it.
Yeah, my brother introduced me to D&D, and her little brother goes to the same place as my brother. My brother's older than me, by the way. Me giving him ice cream, nothing to do with his age.
Yeah, my brother is 16.
He should be giving me ice cream.
Yeah, my brother is 16. Her brother is in his 20s.
They go to the same D&D group, and then I went to the same D&D group, and me and Rachel didn't find out until, like, a good few months.
Yeah, It was the weirdest thing because I remember my sister went and my sister knew you and had like mentioned a Lily and I was like, okay, it's fine. And I was like, cool, fabulous, wonderful, whatever. And then I think we hung out and my sister was there and she was like, oh my god, hi! And you guys were like talking about D&D and I was like, how do you guys know each other? And then my sister was like,
Yeah.
oh, I know, like, she's from D&D. And I was like, what in the fuck? Excuse me, what? My best friend that I'd met at college just happened to go to D&D literally 2 doors down from my house with 2 of my siblings.
You guys are not meant to be in the same story. This is not a crossover episode.
I don't like this. I don't need a crossover event. Flashpoint was enough, okay? Like, fuck. New 52, don't fuck with me again. It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine. This is fine.
So in the campaign we were doing, where me and my brother were actually both players, because it's a rare occasion, but we're like our characters usually fit each other's.
I hate myself.
I played a dwarf bard called Pip.
Oh, I remember. Was that the one with the wagon? Was that the one with the wagon?
Yeah, with the wagon. I get a lot of my ideas from movies, so a lot of my characters sound familiar, but from different movies. So Pip was invented from multiple characters. She like dressed like a genie, but she was small, sarcastic, a bard, very self-centered. I saw her a bit like Alex Russo.
Yes! Oh my god.
But she had the love of nature that Harper has. Because in one of the first campaigns, I adopted a giant centipede as Pip.
Oh, what? I completely forgot that.
A giant centipede came out of the forest because it's living, and I guess they just do things like that.
Are you on about Jim Henson? Sorry, I saw Henson.
Centipede.
And I was like, what?
Yeah. He was like, giant centipede. And I was like, oh, can I pet it? And he was like, you're not meant to pet it. And I was like, I want to pet it. Can I pet it? And he was like, I mean, do the check. And I had like a +4 or 3 on animal handling. So I kept it. And then it became my best friend. And it followed the cart. Because like I had a horse as well to lead the cart on.
Yeah, I remember this now. I'm being reminded.
So my character had a giant pet centipede called Tomatoa because it was shiny. It had a horse. I can't actually remember the name of the horse because we lost the horse at one point and Tomatoa started being the horse. We lost it to goblins, I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure. But I had like a house, a little cabin on wheels, basically.
Yeah.
And then it had enough storage space to like fit us all in. And then it had like a tiny compartment. And from the outside, it looked like it could only like fit me in it. Like it was a bedroom for me. But if you went into it, it was a bit like Newt Scamander's suitcase. So you went into it and it was a giant storage space. It came very in handy. Only the DM and me knew about it. So there was a lot of confusion at points where people were like, we can't carry anything else. And I was like, yeah, we can.
Yeah, no. This will fit.
They'd be like, what? And I'd be like, just don't worry about it. Just pick up the thing and put it in the
put it in the wagon.
I will sort it out.
Yes. Aggressive.
They thought at one point I had your sister come up to me and she said, so does your character have some kind of like superhuman organizing skill? I was like, that would have been so much better.
That would have been funnier if that was like, no, that was like, that happened to be a proficiency you had, or like a feat that you had, but you're like, well, yes, but that's got nothing to do with this. Like, you go downstairs and it's just a hoarder. Like, you're just a hoarder of things in the
Yeah.
Like, I could have used my feet, but I didn't. I just know that I have space. It's like a bag of holding, but like for you to live in.
It works like a bag of holding.
Sorry, I'm wearing a really long dress and it's just fun.
She is. Appreciate the long dress.
Nobody can see it, but it's cute.
I got off of topic really quickly because I loved that character so much.
I don't remember what the topic was.
I was
I don't remember
brother
what.
and me.
Oh, right, yeah.
We were playing the same thing. I was Pip, and he was a Kenku. I can't actually remember. I don't think his character had a name. I think I called him Yes, because that's the only word he knew when we met him.
Nice. Why don't you ask?
So, Kenkus are little bird creatures.
I clicked on something
who
popped up.
don't talk, but they can talk, but they can only repeat things that they've heard.
Yes.
So, my brother's Kenku, when we met him, could say, like, yes, no, master, and something else. And it was all, like, backstory driven, and it was all very dramatic, but I can't remember it.
So dramatic, it's not relevant.
It's not relevant, because it wasn't my backstory.
Yeah.
And he then started picking up stuff we had said. So a lot of his were, like, saying stuff back to me that I'd already said. At one point, we were like, none of us in the party were humans, and I decided that my character was really up herself. So, we met a character, and they were being really difficult, and they happened to be a human. And one of the other party members were like, oh my god, why are you being so rude? And I was like, humans are just like that sometimes, fucking dickheads. So my brother wrote it down.
I remember this story now!
We got to, like, a mayor, or, like, I think it was a cult leader. I think we were doing the same story I was trying to get you guys to do.
I'm scared.
We got to the cult leader. The cult leader was a human. And my brother decided that was the perfect time to bring out fucking...
Humans are just like...
They're kind of like that sometimes, dickheads. And I was just like, no.
Oh no. I have fucked up.
I also then, because of that, I went, no, I'm not racist. He also wrote that down. That came in handy, apparently, a lot of time.
Oh no, I'm not racist!
Like 25 slots for things he could say.
Mm.
Yeah, he had like 25 slots of things he could say, and he used like 20 of them to bully me.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that. Honestly, I'd do the same thing if I was playing a Kenku. I'd do the same thing. It's fine.
I would totally do the same thing as a Kenku. I just repeat back like horrible shit people are saying all the time. I would not be helpful. I wasn't helpful in that campaign.
I don't know what's going on with my hair now. This is fine.
I told you how we finished that campaign, right?
You blew up the
Quick time
shit.
check for me.
It's...
Before I go into a new story.
It is 37 minutes past 9. We have time.
Okay.
That was... Didn't you blow up the ship?
No.
I swear you set fire, or like you flung fiery burning shit at people.
It wasn't a ship. Oh shit, you said shit.
Yes.
I thought you meant shit.
Shit isn't like... Yeah.
Like,
When I said it, it was 39. Thank you.
That's not how it ended. That was like the middle part. We had already set fire to shit and thrown it at them. Literal excrement. We're not kidding. It was something I said sarcastically, and all of the players were like, "Ooh, let's do it." And I was like, "No, let's not." But they did it anyway. Because I was only one player in a series of chaos.
Which is how it should be. That's my preferred.
Yeah.
I said 39.
I was fine with it. I was just like, I feel like this is going to go wrong, but if it doesn't, this will be hilarious. But it ended. Like, we defeated the guy, we had the last battle. It was really difficult, but we got through it. that campaign ended accidentally because it was meant to go on, but Livy decided he didn't want to DM that group anymore because he had other things to do. They had other things to do. And we had the final battle, and we went to a pub afterwards because you always go to a pub to celebrate afterwards. Or a tavern. We called it a pub.
I use them interchangeably at this point. I'm like, it's an inn, it's a tavern, it's a pub, it's somewhere you can drink and occasionally sleep.
So we went in, and over the weekend, I had already started writing a song for my character to perform, and I wish I could find it. Oh my god, I wish I could find it.
I haven't heard the song. I don't think you've been able to find it since I've known you.
No, and I really want to. It's gonna be in one of my books somewhere. If anyone saw the Instagram post, I'm not bad at rhyming.
That was so funny. I just remembered you recording it just before we started, being like, and I was like, oh, I have to be silent. She's using text to speak. Okay.
Yeah. I'm dyslexic. I use text to speak to text.
It's so funny. The amount of times where I'm like, right, I'm gonna reply as if this is what you were trying to say. And then you're like, I use text to speak and I don't know how I got those words from what I was saying. Wait, I'm gonna try and find a good example.
My brain is too tired to actually.
I'm gonna try and find an example.
So I have to text to speech it.
I'm trying to find it right now. I need to find this. Oh my gosh.
We did.
Sorry, I just found our conversation about comfortably stalking someone, and then me being like, I follow them on Instagram now, and you being like, I will wait to follow him so as to not arouse suspicion. And then I said the iconic line, honestly, causing that man any form of arousal would be enough for me at the moment. Because, hello. I'm fine.
The conversations we have are a lot.
Everything. We are a lot in general. I'm fucking finding it. I'm finding it.
So I had the song, written already. And because, obviously, we hadn't had the last battle yet. So I didn't actually know who won, what happened, all of that lovely stuff. So, I went up to the whole, group and I was like, oh, I'm going to perform this song and it's going to get us money so we can stay in the pub. And they were all like, excellent, brilliant, perform the song. And I was like, is it actually to do with our battle? And they were like, oh, were you writing it in the session? Because I, draw while I'm playing. And I was like, totally. Yeah. So I had my character go on stage. And I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was it said all of their names and what their powers were. It said what had happened. It said that we were in the dragon's stomach, that we had defeated the cult. And no, it didn't say all of their names and what their powers were. It said that I was in a party, that I had defeated the cult, that I had been on this journey, that I had defeated the final boss, and that the only reason that there was no more cult in this town was all because of me.
Yes, I remember this. You were such an egotist. It was so funny.
I took credit for everything that other people had done. And all of their characters. We had a character who was a wizard with social anxiety.
Moo!
Because unfortunately for charisma, they had rolled a 1. I'm
not that mean. I let people re-roll once. Anything below 5, I let them re-roll because that's just impractical.
It was very funny.
Wow.
It was very funny. It both helped and hindered in loads of ways. They couldn't fight back at all because they were too scared. They were in the middle of a pub. My brother was a Kenku who couldn't speak apart from saying no, so he couldn't really protest.
Doth protest
the other
too
character
much.
was too big to fit in the pub.
Wait, it
It was your brother, he was a Goliath or
Yes,
something.
I remember. Yep, that sounds about right.
And all of the rest of the players were really just were, they weren't angry at me. It was more like, you.
Yeah. My favorite, right, first of all, Grouchy, I literally just had to, bite myself to stop myself from just yelling, check if children wings are in, please. You can't see the chat! You can't see the chat!
Can't see the chat.
Grouchy's dad
What do you think I've not been reacting to?
Grouchy's dad is bad at typing, is bad at texting, and said, and asked her to check if there were chicken wings in, but instead of saying that, he said, check if children wings are in, and then in caps lock said, please! Oh. Yeah. Oh god. What's menage? Get menage. I don't know what that means.
You're gonna have to relay the chat to me because I have no idea.
I'm trying, but my brain doesn't work. And then, so in response to what Grouchy said, Laura said, "Oh Lord, save the children." Grouchy just said, "It was wild to read when I only had a second to read it." There we go. I can person. What I was going to say was my favorite ever reaction to something that my character has done. So my eco-terrorist character, she is a druid, and she is about as anti-vegan as you can get. If she sees you killing any sort of plant, she will try and kill you. She doesn't do well with people trying to eat plants, because they're her family. They're her plant babies and her plant siblings and family, because she's half dryad, and the dryads who saved her life. Unfortunately, she's also a drug addict. But I neglected.
Choice of personal teachers.
Well, so everyone, there's a person. Okay, I understand now. Sorry, don't worry about it. Anyway, basically, I didn't want to tell anyone this. I was like, she's a drug addict, but only me and the DM know. So she was taken prisoner. We were all taken prisoner. We were in this arena. We had to fight these people in this arena. It was a whole thing. But she's in this arena, realizing she doesn't have access to her nectar, which is the name of the drug that she's addicted to. It's a natural thing. It comes out of a plant, and she literally just, gets it pure from the plant. And it's what kept her alive when she was a child and dying. Because she got cocooned, and then they used nectar to keep her alive, and then she became addicted to it, and she takes a lot of nectar. Pardon? What did you say?
I called her a heroin baby.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, pretty much. So, yeah, she's addicted to nectar, but there was no nectar around, and nobody knew that she was addicted to nectar. So, randomly, she just starts shaking, uncontrollably. And I literally say that, I'm like, as you guys are having this conversation, Albert is on the floor shaking uncontrollably. She's, lying in the W position, shaking uncontrollably, and everybody else is like, what the fuck's going on with Albert? Oh my god. Also, her name's Albert, by the way. It's not her real name, but her name's Albert.
I'm pretty sure my character's reaction was saying, is she gonna explode?
Yeah. Foreshadowing.
I have very much found what kind of character
it was so
I
fun.
suit,
Yes,
Like,
it's very fun. But so she
stupid,
starts.
strong.
Oh god, I've broken something. No, it's fine.
I think stupid, strong, and witty. I think that's the kind of character that I
That's who
suit
you are in
really
person.
well. Exactly, that's why I suit them.
Yeah. But so she starts shaking uncontrollably, and then all of a sudden the DM messaged me in something called Whispers, which is where you can only see them. And basically he's like, right, trust me on this, pretty much. Hey, that's my game, yeah. And I didn't know this was gonna happen. Reese just I was like, Reese, what's happening? But basically she starts to have her spasmy thing, and then roots come up from the ground and come over her and start stabbing her with thorns and stuff. And I didn't know that was happening, so I was like, what the fuck? Why are my plant children attacking me? He explained afterwards it was because they were trying to save me. They were trying to wake me up from my trance and stuff and get me out of there. Love me plant babies. But, so I was freaking out at that point, and everybody else was freaking out, and then just as we were about to go out into the arena, she fully collapses and is, like, knocked, like, she's fucking out. She's not waking up. She's out. And, like, everybody, I remember Drisky being like, what do we do? What do we do? Oh my god, what do we do? Because also, Albert didn't talk to anyone. She didn't, like, I think she said all of about 3 words to people. She was very antisocial, very much like, get the fuck away from me anytime somebody tried to talk to her. She growled at somebody because she saw them eating a vegetable. Like,
It was me.
No,
It was my character.
I thought it was
I can't
Drisky.
remember my character's name.
I thought it was Drisky that she growled at.
No, I was the one that was looking for food.
Oh, yeah.
Well, no, Drisky was the one that was looking for food. I found it, and my character was like, no.
Oh, yeah, I remember that now. But, it was, yeah. It's fine, Lewis, don't worry. Lewis is back. But, yeah, basically,
I don't remember my character's name.
I can't remember it either, but you had a fun character. She was very, very aggressively not okay. And then she ends up, like, getting half healed by this lady who basically just wakes her up and puts her straight back into the fucking arena. And it was just it wasn't a good time. Her name was Talon, that was it.
Oh yeah, Talon. I remember.
And yeah, it was a good time. And then when we all got zapped back to where we were prior to being kidnapped, yeah, your girl Hestia, King Second. We all got zapped back to before we were kidnapped when we eventually got out of the arena, and everybody else was like, we were naked when we landed back where we were because we had to go through this portal and it was a whole thing. Everybody else is like, fuck, I'm in public, and or I'm in a tree, or this, that, and the other, like random places where you probably don't want to be naked. Albert didn't wear much anyway. Like, she was pretty much wearing, like, a swimsuit made of vines, like Poison Ivy-esque, and then put leather on when she was in the arena, because, like, they gave her leather armor and trousers. But then when she got zapped back, she was lying down directly underneath a, like, in the woods, like, on a bed of leaves. She was lying down under a nectar plant, and the second she arrived, nectar was pouring straight into her mouth, and she was naked, and she could not have been happier, honestly.
I literally must have blacked out when that was happening, because I cannot remember any of this.
Really? Oh, was that because your internet died?
Maybe.
That might have been because of your internet. My dear.
Or my memory is absolutely terrible.
True. That is also true. I think I'm trying to think of, like, my favorite thing.
About D&D or...
No, about, like, my favorite my favorite, like, character thing was I was playing in this really... I don't know if you guys have ever watched Sword Art Online. It's an anime. But basically these people are trapped inside a video game where if they die in the game, they die in real life. And, yeah, basically that was what the D&D campaign was based off of, was Sword Art Online. And so my character, Out of World, was a schoolgirl that was, like, homeschooled and was, like, expected to be top of the class, you know. Crippling social anxiety. Crippling. Which she usually played games to sort of get out of her shell, you know? But then, when she finds out that she's stuck in the game, she reverts straight back to being crippling anxiety. To the point where if people were within a 5-foot square of her, she would start having a panic attack. She had constantly blushed cheeks because she was constantly like, I don't like this. During a battle, she got so stressed and overwhelmed because there were too many people around her that she straight up noped out and went inside of her ring, because she was a warlock of a genie. Like, noped out and was in the ring. So one of our druids had to, like, run up and was like, it's okay, I have her ring, it's fine, we'll get her back after. It's okay. Like, it was, I fully went for, I was like, no, this character's not down for the for the fighting thing. She is not okay. I just dropped my lemonade.
See, I think that was the worst thing about Pip taking all of the credit for the thing in that campaign, was she was so low powered because I was so focused on her just being like incredibly charismatic and like having very good agility, that all she did was like go to the back of the group and try and not get hit.
Same. That was what my character did. She used to do like firebolts and stuff, but that was it. Eldritch Blast. Eldritch Blast.
I'm pretty sure the only hit that Pip had ever like laid on somebody was the last boss. I think I had the final hit, and that was purely because I knew they were dead already.
Nice. I love that.
So my character was like, I'll finish them off.
What's the schedule for the podcast?
The
The podcast is every Wednesday, and then the occasional Friday when we do Bean Pub. Sorry, catching on to my brain.
We start at 8:30 and we usually end at 10:30, so we're ending soon.
Very, very soon.
If you're in Dean's Discord, we will be hopping over to Dean's Discord, but Rachel is doing her
Dungeons
D&D
and
thing.
Dragons.
So if you're going there, we're being quiet if we aren't in this group for D&D.
No, you're fine, Prince. No, this was just me trying to get my brain less scrambled before I have to DM. Okay, this is fine. We're gonna go now. Thank you all for coming very much. Love you all dearly. See you all for D&D. For those of you that are playing, for those of you that aren't playing, see you next week at 8:30 GMT. And love you all very much. Thank you, Reese, for the Bean Socials.
Thank you, Reese.
Bye, 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 bye. Bye. No star out gid.
And that's the end of another video. Thank you for joining us again tonight. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our Twitch and YouTube channels, follow us on Spotify and Instagram. You can find us anywhere at Bean Productions, not Productions, Productions. Remember, you can find us on our Twitch channel at Bean Productions every Wednesday night at 8:30 and every other Friday night at 8:30. See you then. Bye.